So an update on my DogeCoin position. Right now the position is down $2,593 with 92 cents, and right now I own 44,513 worth of DogeCoin. And looking at the DogeCoin on the daily chart, so basically on the daily chart it looks like Dogecoin is below the 9-day moving average. Could it possibly use the 20-day moving average as support? That's a possibility. If it does manage to bounce off the 20-day moving average, then we could see a bounce from Doge. And then on the 30-minute time chart, right now it's looking bearish for Doge currently. The reason I say that is because the 50, 20, and 9-day moving average look like this currently on the chart. And usually when they look like this on the chart and the 180 and 200-day moving average are all the way at the top, that usually indicates that that continuation of that trend, of that bearish trend, could continue further. But on the 4-hour time chart, it looks like it basically confirms it, because now Doge is under all three moving averages. Currently Doge is above the 180/200-day moving average, but who knows, right? Actually, because yeah, honestly, we could see more continuation towards the downtrend from Doge, because now the 9-day moving average crossed over the 20-day moving average, and it looks like the 9-day moving average will cross over the 50-day moving average. And possibly, if it can manage its support around the 0.21 level, then we should be good and we could see a bounce from there. But if it doesn't manage to hold itself on that 0.21 support level, then we could see Doge approach the 180-day moving average next. So the next thing I want to talk about is that Bitcoin reached an all-time high, a new all-time high of 112,051 with 25 cents. So it is pretty crazy that Bitcoin at one point was getting slaughtered, and all of a sudden it just managed to break through the toughest situation. And basically on the daily chart, by the looks of it, it is in a bullish trend. So it's in an uptrend currently. Possibly, most likely it's going to use the 9-day moving average as support on the daily chart. The reason I say that is because not maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess you could count this one too, 6. And I guess you could say this one too, 7. 7 candles so far have used the 9-day moving average as support. So basically, on those daily candles have basically used the 9-day moving average as support. So on the 4-hour time chart, well, let's look at it on the 30-minute time chart. So on the 30-minute time chart, it is in a bearish trend currently, because right now it is below the 180/200-day moving average, and then the 9-day moving average just crossed below the 50-day moving average, and it looks like the 20-day moving average is going to cross below the 50-day moving average as well. On the 4-hour time chart, it is approaching the 50-day moving average. If it uses it as support, we could see a bounce off the 50-day moving average. But currently, Bitcoin's been holding pretty well. When was the last time? Because you can see here at one point Bitcoin did manage to cross over below the 9-day moving average, crossed below the 20-day moving average, then below the 50-day moving average, and then it somewhat held itself around the 92,000 level. And yeah, I guess you could say it held itself around that level, somewhat close to that level, and basically saw a bounce off that 92,000, 93,000 level, and then it just saw an uptrend from there. So if for whatever reason Bitcoin does decide to go down a little further, if it breaks the 50-day moving average, the next support level that basically Bitcoin could approach is anywhere from the 102,000 levels, I would say. So I would say the next level of support for Bitcoin is anywhere from the 101,000 level or the 102,000 level. So we'll see what happens. I honestly do expect for Bitcoin to use the 50-day moving average as support due to the fact that it's used it previously, like here, and then they broke it, and then they regained it. Here they broke it and they regained it. So we'll see what happens. So time will tell. And then basically the Magnificent Seven. I do want to talk about SPY. So let's see SPY on the daily chart. So right now, yeah, the overall stock market of SPY is currently above the 180, 200, 20 and 50-day moving average. It is below the 9-day moving average. So if we can see a bounce off the 180-day moving average, which it looks like it did happen, because the 180-day moving average reads 576.32, and then after hours it's saying that SPY is at 579. So by the looks of it, it looks like it did use the 180-day moving average as support. On the 4-hour time chart, it looks like we could see further downtrend from SPY. The reason I say that is because if you look closely, the 9 and 20-day moving average have crossed below the 50-day moving average. And just how the chart looks like, usually when that trend of the moving averages look like that, usually that kind of indicates that that particular stock is going to enter into a continuation of that bearish trend that it's in. So could we expect more bearish trend from SPY for next week? It could be a possibility. It could approach the 180-day moving average. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Well, I do kind of want to give you guys a list of stocks that you could look over if you're interested. DEC, STLA, CRM, Apple, ON, Snap, PayPal, TSM, Nike, United Airlines, Moderna, UPS, Google, Delta Airlines, NVO, Nvidia, Amazon, Target, Carnival Cruise Line, AVGO, HPE, TTD, BDX, TSLA, UNH, MRK, TEVA, OWL, XYZ, CVE, and Reddit. Those are some stocks that I'm personally looking over for the weekend, and that you could look over and see if it's a good opportunity to invest for the long term or just to trade quickly and get in and get out. So it's I'm going over these particular stocks over this weekend. So that's pretty much it. As always, this is not financial advice. If you guys need any help, let me know. I'll gladly help you out. That's pretty much it. As always, this is not financial advice. As always, take care. Bye.